Basketball is back, and you can be part of the action every night playing one-day fantasy basketball at DraftKings. Choose from public contests with big cash prizes or private contests with friends. They've even got beginner and casual contests, too. Use code JALEN at DraftKings.com now and play free with your first deposit for your share of $10,000 in total prizes tonight. That's JALEN to play for free with your first deposit, only at DraftKings. The game inside the game. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head the deck. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood. Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me your boom.
It's Friday, and he is Jalen Rose applying makeup to his face.
What up, Doe?
I am David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in.
Together, we are Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio and ESPN2. What is it that we do, Mr. Rose?
We get the people what they want.
Well, the Westbrooks got what they want. Russell Westbrook has signed the biggest deal in the history of the National Basketball Association. Woj telling us that it is a 5-year, $205 million contract extension. That's $41 million a year. Jalen Rose, so Westbrook is going to be there. But will Paul George and Carmelo stay there?
Don't be surprised if they do.
Ooh. What? Talk to me.
Here's what you have to pay attention to. Carmelo Anthony had a no-trade clause. He also has a year after this season on his contract at about $28 million that you don't just walk away from.
It's a player option, I believe.
So usually, if you're going to waive that in order to come to OKC, you're on the phone with Russ. Like, yo, I need to know, fam. Are you going to be there? Because if you make me waive my no-trade clause, I come to OKC and you bounce, you think you had a problem with KD, you're going to have an enemy forever, physically.
Well, Russell signed this deal on Kevin Durant's birthday. Do you think he meant to? Do you think he's that competitive?
Absolutely. Yeah. And rightfully so. Here's the thing I want to applaud for Russell.
Okay.
He's not going to let down the fans of OKC. When Michael Jordan stood on the stage and said that he was the kind of player that was going to get people to come play with him and not, quote-unquote, chase the chips, I believed it. And knowing Russell the way I do and how he's handled the scenario, regardless to them losing Harden, regardless to KD bouncing, it seems like this move is true to character. And doing it on KD's birthday, after you guys have already acquired Paul George, is only right. We officially have another super team in the league. Yep. And it's not in Golden State, and it's not in Cleveland. Oh, man, League Pass is going to be on fire, not only this year, but for years to come.
Yep. Moving on, this week has been covered extensively, this FBI investigation that's uncovered all of the corruption, well, some of the corruption, an example of the corruption that's going on in the NCAA in regards to paying families and families paying players and college coaches getting paid, college coaches paying people, players being paid to join agencies. They've uncovered it all with charts and FBI investigations. But Jalen, it's time that you take us behind the curtain. Who else is involved in all of this? Because we hear about the shoe companies and we hear about the college coaches and we hear about the families of the players, but the corruption is much more layered than that. Take us behind the curtain. Who else is involved?
So since a free market economy does not exist in basketball and or football for that matter, what you're now going to have is different pockets of people and or situations that navigate young athletes on how to get to the money.
Okay.
Because they now see that regardless to how talented you might be in 10th grade, we know you have to finish high school. We know you have to go to college for 1 year. And we know neither one of those situations are allowed to pay you. Yep. So based on that, it initially starts with the athlete's talent, family and or friends and or relatives. The extended family becomes your high school coaches and or your AAU coaches.
Okay.
And what shoe companies and or agents, because they're the puppet masters in theory, are now doing is they create different scenarios. So an elite level athlete, usually his school now becomes sponsored by one of those said shoe companies. During the summer, this now player has to make a choice. Which shoe company, skills academy, basketball camps, and or appearances they now attend. So in theory, you're being steered. Also, along those lines, who's working you out each summer to allow you to hone your craft?
Oh, that's interesting.
When you see a quarterback's coach that's a guru, or a trainer that's working out all of the elite athletes, you know that somebody's paying them, right?
Mm-hmm. They probably wear all the same brand clothing from head to toe.
And you know who's not paying them? The high school athlete and or the collegiate athlete. So now those relationships become fostered. And all of a sudden, if said shoe company, they were looking after your high school and you were going to their camps, guess what you now end up doing? Going to a college that wears the same shoe. Because when I sign my letter of intent, I'm not just signing the ball out. I'm signing a shoe contract because I can't wear what I want to wear in collegiate basketball or football. You have to wear what the school is contractually obligated to wear. You know why? Because the contract is with the shoe company in the university. It's not with me. But I'm still forced to fall in line and actually do such. And so now I'm in college. Everybody knows I need to be there for a year. This infrastructure that's brought me through. Mm-hmm. I have a college coach. There's assistant coaches. They become my father figures along with the people that I mentioned in the past. And all of a sudden, there's no surprise that, said collegiate coach that has an agent or a manager or a financial advisor, he's doing really well by me. Mm-hmm. So guess what? The player now follows suit and is represented by the same financial advisor who works for the same agent. And of course, don't forget the other people on the sideline, like who's making the clothes? Who do you buy the jewelry from? So this is a never-ending cycle that's going to continue to churn as long as the NCAA exists with the model that treats you like an athlete who is an amateur, which you're not, but you're treated as such because you have to sign on the dotted line to become a scholarship athlete, but also as long as money's involved. I saw what happened with Rick Pitino. Do you actually think Rick Pitino is the only collegiate coach?
The only one in all of college basketball. He is the only coach in all of college basketball that's involved in any of these practices. I really believe that. So
let me tell you some of the rules and some of the things to watch for when you're watching certain squads play and or in the summer. Watch how the top flight coaches are able to now hire AAU and or high school coaches and or family and friends to come work camps in the summer. Mm-hmm. So that you hope that the money that they're being paid, that ain't for them to 100% put in their pocket. It's for them to funnel some to the collegiate athlete. How about the athlete who gets their family members to now work for the school?
Oh, just so happened that there was a job open, and you know what? My dad would be perfect for that job.
Absolutely.
He'd be perfect for that job. Oh, that seems like a very, very, very good compensation for that position as well.
No question about it. So it's happening in and around the country, and it ain't going to stop.
Nope.
Fantasy sports just got a lot easier to play and win with the hottest new games by Dover.Games. No more long lineups or complicated salary caps. Create at least 3 matchups and you're good to go. Make any combination of matchups you want. Play all quarterbacks this week, receivers next week. Even make picks across multiple sports. Just pick 3 matchups to win cash prizes. Dober.games is one of the fastest, easiest ways to play daily fantasy sports. That's DOBER.games. Dober.games. Use promo code HOOPS to enter a free contest with cash prizes just for joining. You can win cash fast, easy at Dober.games. Sign up right now at Dober.games. Use promo code HOOPS to enter a free contest with cash prizes just for joining. Void where prohibited. See site for restrictions. Must be of legal age in your state or area. Fantasy sports just got a whole lot easier to play. Play big, win bigger at Dober.games.
You ready to go through every single game this Sunday in the NFL, Mr. Rose? We have 11 minutes to do so. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
First, we're starting early in the morning. This is 6:30 in Los Angeles. There's already live football on before my kids get up. That's a lie. They get up earlier than that. But anyway, I'll be parenting, making breakfast, Cheerios for the little youngins while the Saints play the Dolphins.
Again, I got love for you, Drew Brees, future Hall of Fame quarterback. You guys could save the arm lock protest and the knee prior to the anthem.
Yep.
We don't need your premeditated support.
Nope.
Next, we have the Titans at the Texans.
Titans, Texans. Deshaun Watson. Mariota. Young quarterbacks. Dual threats that I think have an opportunity to be what's considered the future of the game.
Ooh, I like it.
Yep.
We're still waiting for Mariota to turn the corner. You know what I mean? He's shown that potential, like, oh, this dude could be one of the great quarterbacks in this league. Still early in his career, but he's shown it in flashes, but not consistently. Deshaun Watson has had some electric plays, but he also looks like a rookie when he plays.
I think you're pronouncing his name wrong.
Who?
Mariota.
Marcus Mariota. Mariota. One of us is wrong.
Mariota.
All right. Jaguars at the Jets. No one's watching this game. Unless you don't have unless you have fantasy implications or you live in one of those areas, you're not watching this game.
All I know is this. The JRLA Jaguars could probably beat the Jets.
They could probably beat the Jets. They couldn't beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, but the JRLA Jaguars could probably beat the Jets. And they don't even have a football field or a football team. They could just get the drama club and just get them together and beat the Jets. The Jets aren't trying to win games. Clearly. The Panthers at the Patriots. This is an interesting contest. Bill Belichick's been saying he's worried about defending Cam Newton, doing that thing, being super complimentary about the other team, which he likes to do. Could you see the Panthers upsetting the Patriots in New England?
Nope.
Important game early in the season for Cam Newton. Here's a player that deservedly so won the MVP a couple of years, led his team to a Super Bowl, has dealt with some injuries, took a step back last year, in particular with his accuracy. They add Christian McCaffrey. He struggled so far this year. And again, I want to stress, for the most part, he dealt with the same injury and surgery that Andrew Luck did. The difference is one's playing and one isn't. So I have to give him credit for that. But playing against the Patriots, prime time, prime stage, this would be a really nice time for Cam to show why he was that dual threat that people and players in the league ranked as the number one player in the game not too long ago.
Yep.
And Brady, he just do what he does.
I'm concerned about the Patriots defense.
Me too.
Patriots defense does not look good. Hightower has been very limited. It just seems like Tom Brady can always cobble something together no matter which receivers get hurt or don't. The offensive side of the ball, they rely on Brady and their brains. Defensive side of the ball, it just doesn't seem like they have what it takes to be a Super Bowl contender this year. Next, we have a divisional matchup. Two great teams in the NFC, the Lions and the Vikings. In Minnesota, a week removed from a controversial loss. Jalen, you don't want to lose twice in a row early in the season. This could be a signature win going up against a very, very stout Vikings team. Sam Bradford, no Sam Bradford. The defense is always going to be the same. Case Keenum looked great last week. Stephon Diggs has caught like 5 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. Are you concerned about this game as a Lions fan?
We got to start guarding Stephon Diggs right now. He's a problem.
Start following him to the parking lot after practice, whatever it takes.
He's a problem. Great route runner, catches in traffic, makes defenders miss, can run after the catch. He's become an explosive weapon in the game. Yep. Dalvin Cook has been a terrific rookie so far. Yep. And this class has been as advertised. Hunt, Fournette, McCaffrey. And they're getting it done. But for the Lions, I agree with you. It's about if we're going to win the division as I predicted, and you saw what Aaron Rodgers was able to do Thursday night, throw 4 touchdowns in the red zone as he led his team to victory.
Yep.
These are the kind of games we should win.
You have to.
So I'm looking for the Lions to come out and send a message, as you noted, going against a backup quarterback like Case Keenum, who was lights out last week.
He looked pretty good last week. All right, we got to pick up the pace. We only got about 5.5 minutes left. The Bills going down to Atlanta in their fancy new stadium where they can't get Chick-fil-A at. What do you think about the Bills in Atlanta?
Tyrod Taylor, LaShawn McCoy.
Could this be a trap game for the Falcons?
The Falcons have not had their game of explosion. I think it takes place this week. This is the Julio Jones 180-yard.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
2-touchdown game.
I like it.
This is the Freeman 130 yards rushing 2-touchdown game. The Matty Ice 400. This is the Matty Ice 400-yard passing game.
Okay.
With 4 TDs, no picks. Atlanta looks like the best team in the NFC this weekend, and they win in going-away fashion.
A team that has frankly looked not as good as we expected. The Steelers, who lost to the Bears last week, are now going into Baltimore to play the Ravens.
Great win by the Bears last week. Great job by John Fox. The longer you keep Trubisky on the sideline, the longer you keep your job.
Exactly.
Don't everybody know how this works?
Exactly. You start putting Trubisky in, then everyone starts pointing at you and not instead of Mike Glennon. Mike Glennon is a criticism like a lightning rod. Oh, he threw 4 interceptions last week. You got to see he had a great week of practice. He's ironed that all out. We're going to put him back out there next week.
I'm the reason why we lost, not him, is what the coach said. Also, Mike Tomlin, one of my favorite coaches in sports. I have to acknowledge something that is truly painful. I think he was put in a position to speak for the organization as it related to how they wanted to approach, as a storied franchise, the level of inequality protests that have been taking place as the national anthem is being played for NFL football games. And in doing that, he came out, and again, I want to stress, I don't think this is only from his head and heart. I think this is the team protecting its best interests by making sure that they don't have players that take a knee and or a fist while it's being played. So because of that, being the face of the team and the leader and the spokesman, he now has to go in front of a microphone and say, as a squad, we're going to stay into the locker room. Because when you have 53 men, usually with strong opinions that may differ, you're going to get a lot of opposition on what you should actually do. And by staying in the locker room is no different than what the Cowboys did in locking arms and taking the knee. Because what you're doing is truly avoiding the entire situation. Yep. And as Alejandro Villanueva stood there as a terrific serviceman that's sacrificed so much in his military past, with his hand on his heart, and rightfully so, and his other 52 teammates, we don't know exactly how they felt or what they were doing. for obvious reasons, blew up in their face, which led to multiple people as a part of their team leading to apologies. So now they've decided this weekend that their team would be on the field. I'm interested to see if, like we've seen with a few organizations who've decided to muzzle
they're going to do the kneel.
Players.
Everyone's going to do the kneel, then the anthem starts, and then the stand and interlock. That's how it's going. They're going to do the acceptable,
I'm not rolling with that.
The clean, the everybody happy, have your cake and eat it too, quote unquote protest. That's what's going to happen, and you know it. We got a lot of games to get through. Real quick, you have to go rapid fire right here. Bengals at the Browns. Who's going to win?
Bengals. They have a big game. Andy Dalton, 3 touchdown passes.
Can the Rams upset the Cowboys in Jerry's world?
They can, but they won't.
I think they will. I'm picking an upset here. I'm picking the Rams. Reggie. Yeah, Reggie. Thank you, Reggie. I'm picking an upset, and I will not mention it. If the Cowboys win, you won't hear about it. If the Rams win, you will hear about it.
I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. You know what? I'll get in the back seat on that one and ride with you. But I'm in the back seat because you said it first.
They've got weapons. All right, the Eagles going into, quote-unquote, Los Angeles to play the Chargers. What do you see happening there?
I think the Eagles respond. Alshon Jeffries plays like a number 1 receiver. I think LeGarrette Blount, without Darren Sproles, who's out with injury, has 2 touchdowns.
Are the Giants going to lose to the Buccaneers?
They will.
Go
the Giants go 0-4.
I love it so much. The 49ers at the Cardinals, no one cares. The Raiders at the Broncos, interesting big game in the division early in the season.
This is a big game for the Raiders. While both of these teams had poor losses last week, I think the Raiders respond, and Marshawn Lynch has 2 touchdown runs.
Here's what I want to have happen. I want them to have that rain delay in Denver again, so that game goes all the way up until the Sunday night game. I need that to happen again.
And I'm going to put something else on wax.
What's that?
Marshawn Lynch, when he scores a touchdown this Sunday, he's going to do a protest like no player has done in the NFL over the last couple of years other than Colin Kaepernick.
I love
Mark my words.
In the Sunday night game, we all know that Jacoby Brissett is going to breeze through the Seahawks defense.
Prime time?
You know Jacoby's in the Sunday night game. You know I'll be tweeting about it. You know I'll be watching, and you know I'll be happy. We take certain segments from this radio show and put them on television. And there's certain topics that I can't put in the television segments because executives might hear them or see them.
But like Chuck D say, radio, suckers never play me.
So they actually do, 7 to 9 every day on ESPN Radio.
That's why we're not talking about this fine network.
I love this
in
network.
any way, shape, or form.
Love this network. But there are certain topics they're just a little too hot for TV. A little too hot for TV.
You know what we should do?
What?
Let's just sell out for the next 30 seconds and just talk about how much we love our network.
You know what? Action speaks louder than words, and I watch a lot of ESPN. I really do. Like, it's at the end of the day, like, you know, we can talk about how much we love ESPN, but I watch all of the shows all day long. When I turn on my television, I go 300. That's what I put in, because 300 is ESPN. Even if I got something on DVR I want to watch, I just check in with the network, see what's going on, you know?
And I have to say this to so many people that want to get into this industry, whether you're a retired athlete or somebody that just has a passion for communications or radio, TV, film. As a professional athlete, there's a moment when you're like, wow, I'm playing against the best of the best every night. Like, I'll never forget being on the court, and I don't get starstruck too often because I only have like a handful of autographs ever in my life. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Jim Brown, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas. Like, literally, those are the only autographs I have. And I remember standing on the court, and I'm like, I was just playing NBA Live a year ago, and that's the dream right there.
That's Hakeem Olajuwon.
It was a dream. Just a dream. I said that to him. He's looking at me like I was crazy.
Yeah, I'm about to put 35 on you.
And I say that, and by the way, you can look back at my rookie stats. I gave them work, too.
Really? Producers are going to look it up right now. Denver Nuggets. Was it in Houston or in Denver?
I'm not sure. I just know Hakeem was out there.
All right, we're looking right now.
And so the reason why I bring that up.
How do you define work? Like 4 points and 3 rebounds?
No, that ain't work.
Okay, we'll see.
That ain't work.
We'll see.
And so the reason why I bring that up is because I am a sports fan. And so I have the opportunity to watch whatever I want to watch, whatever I want to watch it to get updated. And so I literally watch ESPN programming and see some of the most talented people from program to program, television and radio. I'm like, wow, that was a good take. I was like, wow, he or she articulated that well. Man, this piece is really, really well written. Like, if I'm going to write something, I got to get my weight up. If I'm going to talk about this topic, like, I got to find a unique way to articulate myself. So that's the one thing I learned, like, be in front of the camera and behind the camera, it resembles professional sports for me because it literally becomes the best of the best at what they do, which makes these jobs so very precious.
So, as always, don't get fired. Socially awkward. We got a socially awkward one I couldn't really talk about on the television part. We get the exclusive Too Hot for TV content here in the radio show. So Jay Crowder, now on the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he's got, him and a woman named Dana Lambert have a child together. They have a child together.
Jay.
And we don't know if they're currently together,
Jay.
but we do know they have a child together. And
Jay.
There's an Instagram account called NBA Couples. They post pictures of NBA couples, okay? They
Jay.
posted a picture of Jay Crowder and Dana Lambert on this website. Dana Lambert commented with a big heart. Jay Crowder commented in all caps, "Take this down, man." So my question is this. You know Dana saw the comment. How does he explain that to her when he sees her next?
So here's what that is.
I know exactly what I would say.
What were you saying? What did you say about their relationship status again? I want to just clarify.
It's unclear. Sometimes you don't listen. I understand we don't listen to each other when we speak. It's unclear. I know that they have a child together. I didn't do too much research on this topic. You'll never believe this. But I know they have a child together. It's unclear if they're still a couple. But it is very clear that she commented on the picture with a heart. He commented, "Take this down, man," in all caps. Not even not one cap. So
here's what that sounds like to me. That she's in a relationship with him, but he's not in a committed relationship with her.
Or maybe the other way around. Who knows? But that's certainly what it sounds like.
Or, here's an or. And here's something that you can look for, and you can easily find it with public figures. Is sometimes people don't want to claim their mate publicly.
Exactly. Like maybe he wants to keep his options open. He doesn't want people talking about them as a couple. He doesn't want to be listed as an NBA couple. He doesn't want to be on wax as being coupled up because maybe he's traveling sometimes and he's at a bar and he meets a nice young lady and they Google him. And
here's a couple of reasons why. I have to give a little space for those that just want their relationships to stay private 100%.
That's what I would say. I would just be like, Dana, the only reason I commented that way is because I just want us to be private because that's what's really important. It's our privacy.
But the other 98% of the people in the world, they're doing that because...
There's some other woman named Sarah that would be mad if she saw it?
Correct. They're suppressing their relationship with their mate so they can keep their options open publicly. And here's how those conversations go. Yeah, I know I'm married, but we sleep in different beds and we're separated.
Yeah,
we're going to get a divorce soon.
Yeah, that one. They're like almost about to be divorced, dude. They're like, oh, yeah, wait, just the paperwork hasn't filed yet. I don't normally wear my ring, but paperwork hasn't filed yet. And then he comes home.
No doubt. And then there's the non-married dude that says, well, I ain't married.
Yeah, he's been with the same girl for 10 years.
We don't live together.
Yeah.
But you know
they
what?
Sleep together
if
every
I can't
single
get
night
with you
in the same
tonight,
bed.
Guess what? I'm actually going home to the person I live with.
Exactly, to her. John Wall said he's not a fan of the super team. Is he just not a fan of super team because no one's coming to D.C. to play with him? Like, I think if LeBron called and said, look, I'm really thinking about joining you in Washington, he would sign up for that in a heartbeat.
He basically was saying, I'm not leaving Washington to go join physically another squad that has been put together like that. Now, if somebody will come here to run with me, then I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm not going to leave and go somewhere else.
You like if KD would have came, he'd be like, cool.
You don't like super teams until you're on a super team. You know what I mean? That's how it works. Yeah, if KD was like, oh, I want to come home. This year, the 2 championships I had with the Warriors, that's why I signed a short contract. I was always looking at John Wall and the Wizards development. John Wall wouldn't be on wax like, nah, KD, I'm good. We're going to draft. Me and Otto Porter got this. Me and Otto Porter got this. Don't worry. We're good. You remember... You were a former teammate of Latrell Sprewell, right? Did you guys know the Knicks together?
We never physically played with one another, but we played against each other, Indiana and the Knicks, a lot in the regular season and the playoffs. And also we played a lot of John Madden against one another.
Oh, yeah? Who's better at Madden?
We were both 50-50. I had my wins. He got his wins.
Did you play with the Lions? Did you ever play with the Lions in Madden?
No. Okay. Not when I was playing for the bread.
No one's ever played the Lions for the Lions in Madden.
Not for the bread.
What's the most you've ever bet on a game of Madden?
Couple of G's.
Do you have the cash there, or is it just like a handshake thing and you owe each other?
Oh, no, you had the cash there. The equivalent of playing video games in my life was almost like a dice game. Like, it was a big deal. People surrounding the TV, money on the wood, make it all good. Mm-hmm. And 21-zip shutout.
So, Jalen Rose. I was going to say Latrell Sprewell spinner shoes are making a comeback, according to Latrell, but we have some information from our research staff. The work that you put in against the Dream in your rookie year.
Oh, it must have been my second year.
All right, we can look that up too. But it's not bad. 13 points, 5 for 10. That's not bad. Probably not too many minutes.
Nope.
13
you
points.
You got to look up my second year then.
5 for 10 is not bad.
Nope.
Jalen Rose, LeBron James, and Dwayne Wade are back at it. Dwayne Wade was doing an interview with our colleague, the great, the legend, the brilliant Rachel Nichols. And it was crashed by LeBron James.
It was very tempting because of what we did.
Thank you. The airplane.
You don't make it. No, I don't make it. That's the light. That's the light. You can't see. He said you ain't that light.
Soft move or boss move, wearing makeup with an interview with Rachel Nichols.
I have to say it's a boss move because I wear makeup on television.
You're wearing makeup right now. Yeah, you have to say it's a boss move. Do you think he lied? Do you think he had makeup on and lied, or didn't have makeup on and was the light that made him lighter?
But I got to dig a little deeper. As a player doing an interview with a media member, overall, that's a soft move.
It's a soft move because I feel like you're at the practice facility. Like, you might go work out afterwards. Like, if it was just there for the interview, then maybe makeup is acceptable. But do you think he had makeup? We're going to text Rachel and find out.
I think he was wearing makeup. I think Melo's wearing a hoodie. And I saw LeBron must watch this program because he was rocking a do-rag with a glass of red wine.
Back. Do-rag LeBron is back with red wine and his children screaming at him. Next we have this. Dennis. Schrader.
Does he still have that club in the ATL?
Yes. Well, guess what? He's got a hookah bar. I don't think this was the hookah bar that he was at, but there is a hookah bar named 6 a.m. that he was at 2 a.m., getting into a fight and then subsequently getting charged with misdemeanor battery. Jalen Rose, as someone who has champagne and campaigned in Atlanta and all over the country, how does he avoid these situations?
It's almost inevitable when you're out and about getting it in nowadays, when there's drinks possibly involved, when there's hookahs and or drugs possibly present in one way, shape, or form. Hookahs. And by the way, youngsters, they tricked you. You got bamboozled. That flavored tobacco, all that is rebranded cigarettes. That's all it is. It's all bad for you. With that being said, you hope that you're not putting yourself in position to be involved in an altercation, but as an adult, that doesn't mean because you're a professional athlete, you should be a hermit and have a curfew. You should be able to go where you want, when you want. And also, you should not allow somebody to disrespect you just because of the position you hold as a professional athlete. So there has to be a healthy balance both ways.
Here's what happened is he started the physical altercation. He shoved the person first, and then his friends got involved. That's your mistake, Dennis. You shouldn't. You just don't put your hands on anybody. People can talk to you. You can argue back and all of that, and your friends can put your hands on people. Don't put hands. You don't end up getting charged. We don't end up talking about it in Jalen Jacoby. Moving on, we have statue news. So we bring in senior statue correspondent of the world, not just of ESPN, Jalen Anthony Rose, our senior statue correspondent. There has been a statue added outside of the arena in Utah, joining the statue of Karl Malone and John Stockton is this statue of the J Note, which is essentially the Jazz logo. What do you think about the J Note statue outside, senior statue correspondent Jalen Rose?
I like it. I approve because they initially got it right by putting their Hall of Fame immortals out there first. And John Stockton, who in the pantheon of great players totally gets overlooked, not only as a scorer and as somebody that's one of the all-time leaders in steals, but as a playmaker and a passer. And Karl Malone, who initially is the player I saw shooting one-leg jumpers like they were wet, running the lane, finishing with aggression and power like no other, and also mid-range game was cold.
Thank you, senior statue correspondent, for the statue analysis.
No question.
Suns rookie Josh Jackson, your guy. Josh Jackson was being asked about which players he compares to, which players does he like, which players aren't he like. When asked which players are he least like, he said this, and I can't believe he said this. Quote, probably Steph Curry, just because, he's known as a shooter, I'm not. He's small and unathletic. Jalen Rose, the man called two-time MVP, Steph Curry, small and unathletic. What is he doing? Is that a failed test?
Normally on this program, we make sure we give the people what they want.
Okay.
And for Josh Jackson, when training camp starts, he must go to the front of the line, give his cup to the one that is administering the test, and immediately enter himself into the program.
Just be like, I'm going in the program, because that's a failed test. I mean, who would fix their lips to say that Steph Curry is unathletic? He might be small. Fine, I get that. He is small of stature. But if you've watched this man play basketball, how could you ever come to the conclusion that he's unathletic? It just doesn't make sense.
Because just because he doesn't have the explosion or the burst of a Russell Westbrook or a John Wall, the things that he's able to do with his handle, between the legs, behind the back, play in and out of traffic, and also finish with both hands, jumping off both feet. And his body control is immaculate. So based on this commentary, when they play one another, I'm pretty sure Mr. Curry's going to be fired up to go against the
If I was Earl Watson, I'd just be like, Josh, you're covering Steph the entire game just to learn how athleticism works. Yep. Time for Keep It Moving. Are you ready, Jalen Rose? If it is worth discussing, we will hit the brakes. If it is not, we will keep it moving. Ready, Jalen Rose. OJ's prison release may be blocked. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes.
OJ Simpson is just days from becoming a free man. However, officials for the Nevada Department of Corrections tell TMZ if the release point, 30 miles outside of Vegas, is swarmed by the media, OJ will not be set free. One prison official put it, we don't want to put another Princess Diana situation. They don't want OJ to be involved in a high-profile chase. There's an irony there.
You're on fire today.
There's an irony there that I cannot help. They're like, what we don't want is, because you know my thing, I've said this from the very beginning, if they do not pick him up in the white Bronco, then I do not believe in the human species. Like, if he has friends that are funny, if I was one of OJ's homeboys, I would go buy a white Bronco and pick him up in the white Bronco. Just be like, get right back in, OJ. Get right back in. Let's do this again.
And along the lines of what you're describing, while I think he was guilty.
What? You think he was guilty?
And he beat the trial.
What makes you think that?
That took place in Los Angeles for the horrific murders in Brentwood. What I will say to this, in this situation right now, in order to combat the media and the swarm, if I was him, I'll get let out and I just run through the crowd naked.
Jalen? So if you were like a media consultant, OJ calls you up. You see OJ's number on your phone. For some reason, you still have it saved from 1998. And he's like, Jalen, it's the juice. How's everything been? How are the girls? How are the kids? I heard she's doing great at volleyball. I've been following you on social media. Anyway, I need a little advice. I'm about to get out of jail, and I want to know how to handle this in the media. You've done a great job of handling your professional athlete and also being in the media. I need some advice. Jalen, it's the juice. What should I do?
Let it all hang out, OJ.
What do you mean?
When you get released, you run through the yard and hit them gates and hit the streets as fast as you can, like a Hertz commercial.
Just running naked through the media and just in the desert. What happens when he gets past the media? He's just naked in the desert all of a sudden. Then he's dead?
He need to be going to find Ezra Edelman and get him to do another piece on him, because the one he did for ESPN was masterful.
Sure was. Yep. Next. Coach John Fox says the Bears will look at the quarterback situation. Keep it moving or hit the brakes?
Hit the brakes.
He says, quote, we need to make a lot of changes. We'll evaluate everything. We've got a lot of work to do before we line up against Minnesota. We're going to look at everything. I like your theory that you should keep Mike Glennon as the starting quarterback if you are the head coach.
No doubt.
Because you can always point to Mike Glennon's performance as the reason that you lost, not that you put Mike Glennon in a position to throw 4 interceptions. Mike Glennon threw 4 interceptions. I love it. Next, in Keep It Moving or Hit the Brakes. Urban Meyer says coaches intentionally lying about violations should be done. Keep moving, hit the brakes. Let's keep moving. LeVar Ball says that he got illegal recruiting offers for his sons every summer. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes.
You know, LeVar Ball is not shy, and obviously he was asked about with the current corruption allegations. The FBI has leveled down against various members of the the NCAA, and also members of the agent community and AAU and sneaker companies. LeVar Ball says that he's been getting illegal recruiting offers every summer for his sons. I just like it that LiAngelo got some love. You know what I mean? I just like that LiAngelo, he said all of his sons. Was that like LiAngelo too? He was like, no, not LiAngelo. Not LiAngelo. Yeah, not LiAngelo. That was just for Alonzo and LaMelo. That's all.
T-Mac said it best. He got 2 in a possible.
Nevada marijuana sales update. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Don't get fired. Keep it moving.
We be moving, you know, we keep it moving.
Elon Musk has a rocket codenamed Big Bleepin' Rocket that can get you around the planet really fast. Are you curious? Keep moving or hit the brakes.
After watching 45's tweet about Ken John, keep it moving. Rockets got me scared now.
We be moving, you know, we keep it moving.
Okay. Next. Larry David, still cranky in the morning. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes.
Larry David was on The View, I believe, and he was very cranky on it. Question for you, who is Larry David?
Larry David is a hood figure, New York City, who had a standoff with the police.
Yep.
After he committed a couple of acts of crime.
Yep.
And at that point, he was on the run for a while.
So Larry David was a hood figure in New York City, legendary hood figure, had a couple run-ins with the police, and was on the run from the law.
Correct.
You're sticking with that story.
Yes.
I love doing this show with you, Jalen. Sometimes when we're hanging out, I'm like, this is just like my brother from another mother. Like, we have all the same interests. Yeah. We get along so well. And then sometimes when you say things like that, I'm like, is this dude from a completely different planet that I'm from? Like, I can't even believe that we're friends. I can't even believe it.
I know who Larry Flynn is.
You think Larry David is a hood figure that's on the run from the police?
He is.
No, it's the old bald Jewish dude that looks like Barry Sanders who's got his own HBO show.
There is a Larry David that fits the description that I described.
There's also a Larry David that fits the description that I described. This is why I love doing this show. A tale of two Larry Davids. If you call 985-80-JALEN, you can leave us a voicemail. If you leave us a voicemail, we'll play it on the show just like this.
Jalen Jacoby, what up, though? This is Alex from Vegas. Question for you guys. Would Melo make it to the All-Star game this year? And if so, would he have to wear a hoodie? Also, I've been a long-time podcast listener since Grantland, YouTube, and I've always listened to you guys at work. What do I got to do to get a shirt? Thanks for giving the people what they want. Shout out, Reg.
A couple things. Number one, we'll address the shirt. Very satirical questions from Alistair in Vegas. First question, all clothes related. I appreciate it, respect it. Number one, he wants a shirt. Here's what you got to do to get a shirt. One of the ways to get shirts is if you send us a picture of you DVRing our television show on ESPN2. We get a series manager. You might want to extend the recording 15 minutes because sometimes we come on late. You take that picture, put it on social media, and then we select some of those to get T-shirts. It's out there. Some people have gotten T-shirts. Yeah. Number two, if Carmelo makes the All-Star game, does he wear a hoodie? Yeah.
A couple of things. Number one, the league won't allow him to wear a hoodie.
No, I don't think that. They have certain things you can wear. You can't wear hoodies. No.
You will never see him wear one in an NBA game, including an All-Star game. Two, while going to OKC is going to be a breath of fresh air for him, and if you follow this program, that's broken news to you because I called for that to happen a while ago, but I'm not willing to show my phone to the individuals in the newsroom and ESPN. But with that being said, Carmelo was fortunate based on injuries in the East to make the All-Star game last year. Yeah. Putting up the numbers that he put up in an inferior conference. So now that he moves to the West, while he plays on a better basketball team, it now puts him in position to make the game based on his statistics and their seeding, which means if he's averaging 18 plus and they're a top 2 or 3 seed, like I anticipate he gets in because they reward winning. If that does not take place based on the level of productivity by so many front court players in that conference, he would not make it under that premise.
I don't see him making the All-Star game. I don't see him wearing a hoodie at the All-Star game. But I'm excited for the All-Star game because it's right here, 100 yards away from where I'm sitting right now.
Oh, this is true.
I might actually go to the game this year. Usually I fly out on Saturday. I've had enough. I'm just like, you know what? I'm out of here. I'm going to go home, get some rest before Monday at my own house. But I might actually go to the game this year. Will you get me in?
You got a VIP pass, my brother.
You know what? We know how that goes.
You know Adam Silver watches this program.
We know how that goes. Every night, Adam Silver watches the program. And in the morning, just to get him going again in case he missed something because he was tired. Let's listen to the next voicemail. Remember, if you call 985-80-JALEN, you can leave us voicemail.
Hey, Jalen and Jacoby, what's going on? This is Dave from Canton, Ohio. Shout out, Reg. I'm calling because I have a quick question or concern about the NBA. So recently, Adam Silver did a press conference where he talked about everything going on, and he says that he expects everybody to stand for the pledge because, not the pledge, but the national anthem because, well, it says right in the handbook, you cannot sit, kneel, lie down, put your hands in your pockets, chew gum, bounce or hold a ball. So my question is, A, do you think players will still try to do some sort of protest during the season, even with this rule in place? And B, what is Silver going to do if somebody does? Because he says he's going to handle it on a case-to-case basis. And if he does, do you think that will deter any protest? Love the show. Keep doing what you're doing. Later.
You come to the right program for these hard-hitting questions. With the David Jacoby, has a background at NYU, has worked in production and now talent for 20-plus years. And myself, who has strong opinions about things like this. I was standing next to Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf as a member of the Denver Nuggets in the mid-'90s when he was the first player in the NBA to do some sort of demonstration while the anthem took place. And I want everyone to quantify how I just said that, because it frustrates me when I see hosts, when I see networks, when I see headlines that use the term anthem protest. The anthem ain't being protested.
It's not. No. Now there's the military, now there's the flag.
No. Inequality for minorities and other things that relates to relationships that have gone sour with the police department are why people are using the opportunity during the national anthem to actually allow their voices to be heard when they can maximize their visibility, which so happens to be taking place during
the national anthem.
The national anthem. And I'll get on the locking arms, and you know I've said this to you off wax. I'm ready to bring it on wax.
Please do.
Versus taking a knee or raising a fist. I'm disappointed that the message has totally gotten diluted. It has gone from being what Colin Kaepernick described as what I just said to how can we please everyone and make each person that's watching and or listening, corporate partners and fans, comfortable. Guess what a protest is not designed to do?
Comfortable.
Make everybody comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Jerry Jones, great job. Hat tip. You found a way to hijack ultimately what became an initial opportunity for that visibility that I just described to create the level of conversation and or action in the communities. Hey, Drew Brees, I saw your tweet. Y'all don't even have to do that this weekend.
Just don't bother. There's nothing revolutionary about locking arms and kneeling before the flag, before the anthem, and then standing back up.
No doubt about it. And so, with that being said, I don't anticipate NBA players to do some sort of demonstration at that point in time. But I, more importantly, look forward to the conversations and the action in the community that I look forward to taking place. Because as somebody that takes pride in rolling up his sleeves, being a philanthropist and giving back to the community, on this program, I would love to unpack some of the action items I would like to see going forward as it relates to how now to take what has become a conversation for national consumption and put it into action to benefit those that are being protested on, that the protest is taking place on their behalf.
Thanks so much for the call. Let's listen to another voicemail.
Okay, so just a quick question for both of you. Kit Kat or Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, what do you go with? I personally cannot choose.
Oh, that's easy. Reese's all day.
No doubt.
Oh, yeah, that's not even a thing. Not even a thing. I mean, I won't disrespect the Kit Kat bar. They should come out with the peanut butter Kit Kat bar if they haven't already. But I'm telling you, that is Reese's. I'll take Reese's Pieces and Reese's Peanut Butter Cups over Kit Kat any time of the week. Reese's Pieces, underrated candy. Reese's Pieces are underrated.
That's just like if you're looking at the list of podcasts that you have on your phone and you see the Podfather, you see Jalen and Jacoby. That's Boardwalk and Park Place. Everything else is Baltic and Mediterranean. The exact same with this. I agree with you. Reese's Cups all day.
Of course. You know what? We settled that for you. Don't ever have another Kit Kat. No. Let's listen to another voicemail.
What's up, Jalen and Jacoby? This is John from Idaho. I have a question for both of you. If you are underwater, are you considered wet? That's all I got. Just love the show. Keep doing your work.
Jalen Rose sometimes will sort of zone out. Sometimes he's on his phone a little bit. It annoys me, annoys the staff while we're doing these segments. And this time, in the middle of the question is, if you're underwater, are you wet? Jalen Rose, while the voicemail's going, raises his hand and starts just waving around like, you need to be quiet, Jacoby. I got something. I got hot fire for this. This is the one. John from Idaho. John from Idaho is the one who has gotten Jalen Rose inspired here on this Friday.
Yes, because I grew up in a household where I'm the youngest of four, two brothers and a sister, with the beaded streamers hanging from the ceiling, the red and blue police lights in the basement, and there's a lot of George Clinton being played.
Okay, Funk Friday.
And on one of my favorite records, Not Just Knee Deep, she was gone knee deep once she did the freak with me. If you've ever seen me on television or listened to this podcast, you've clearly heard me sing that record. As a matter of fact, that album is hanging on the wall of immortals in our luxurious studio. I know you've seen duplicates and people try to copy what we do, but we're the original.
Sensitive today, Jim.
And George Clinton distinctly tells me in the record, you can dance underwater and not get wet. So I believe him.
I believe him too. John from Idaho, George Clinton.
Shout out.
There you go. On the show, we have a simple motto. Part of giving the people what they want is going to our 1-800-Flowers Twitter feed and finding out what the people want to know from us. First question that we have is from D. Scott.
Shout out.
Which young duo would you want for the next 5 years? Are you ready? It's complicated. Booker and Jackson on the Suns, Tatum and Brown from the Celtics, Embiid and Fultz from the Sixers, Ball and Ingram from the Lakers. Can't go wrong. No wrong answer except for the Celtics.
That's a lot to unpack.
It's a lot. So it's basically Booker, Jackson.
So Booker, Jackson, okay.
Here's what it is. It's all one second-year player, or no, one young player and one rookie. So Booker and Jackson, Tatum and Brown, Embiid and Fultz, and Ball and Ingram.
I'm going Booker is the best player out of all of the guys you mentioned.
Yep. If Embiid could stay healthy, he would be, but he can't.
And Jackson.
I'm going to say Booker and Jackson as well. I'm very, very intrigued as to what type of player Lonzo Ball will turn into because I really like what I've seen and heard about Lonzo Ball.
I think LeVar Ball's better.
I understand that. All right. This is from Florin Carlo Suba.
Shout out.
You heard Russell's laugh. It's only right he signed his extension on KD's birthday.
Well, this next question is about that. Is it a coincidence or premeditated that Russ signed his contract extension with OKC on KD's birthday?
I knew it was about that time.
That's what it was about. So let me take you behind the curtain, Jalen Rose.
Please do.
Because I know how media works.
And you're a hard-hitting journalist.
It's very
producer.
serious journalist. So I saw this news, and I saw that Woj tweeted it.
Woj. You got everybody saying Woj bombs.
Shout out.
That happened way before me.
Who said it first?
I mean, it's just been around forever. Usually Bill Simmons is the person that says things first.
Pop, father.
So I saw this Woj bomb hit the internet, and I was like, oh, Woj broke some news. Woj must have got a text or a call. And then ESPN posted an article from Royce Young, and the article, it was really well thought out, and it was long. And it came right after the Woj bomb. You know what that says to me, Jalen Rose? ESPN knew this was coming. This is a coordinated attack. It takes at least 2 days to write what Royce write. I mean, he's a brilliant writer. You could probably do it in 4 hours. But it takes some time. So the idea that we had an article ready to be published the second Woj dropped the bomb tells me that it was premeditated. So to answer Floren's question directly, yes, it was premeditated. Now, was this all coordinated to land right on KD's birthday? Maybe. Maybe not. I tend to think that no, it didn't matter. Jalen Rose, you disagree?
I definitely disagree, my brother.
Okay.
Because of how their relationship ended and how it played out for public consumption in a negative light. While I understand that it's been repaired, it's only right to continue to foster, and it's only right if they continue to foster the fact that they're in the same conference and there's a rivalry that's now brewing between the two teams.
I love it. I would consider this a very competitive move. I'm still trying to make competitive happen. I feel good about competitive. I get tweeted about it from time to time. Jalen, look, don't fight it. Don't be jealous. I feel jealousy in your voice. I feel it in your voice. I can see it in your face. Don't be jealous.
Hey.
Don't be jealous.
Hey.
Don't be jealous.
But you'll be proud of me.
What happened?
I entered into 2017. I'm able to watch TV from my phone.
Okay.
I have Netflix. I got Google Play.
Welcome to the 21st century. Welcome to the 21st century. Next question is from a person named Lobster Rue Tupacalypse.
I'm like KD. I think that's my altar page. I made a mistake and sent that from.
Lobster Roo to Apocalypse. They listen to the show. Jalen, you got caught out. It's all just highlights from the Jalen Rose Leadership Academy Jaguars basketball season. That's weird. It says, here in New Zealand, the zoo has an Aussie section. In it, the kangaroos roam free. You can pet them. Are they making peace or just tricking us? Would you pet a kangaroo if you were at the zoo?
Well, since you're the individual that is a STEM scientist and clearly understands amongst the other things that you juggle that a kangaroo apocalypse is amongst us.
It is upon us. It will happen. It's only a matter of time. Do you believe in dinosaurs, Jalen?
I don't.
You don't believe dinosaurs ever roamed the planet?
Well, you got to think about it like this.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm listening. I'm involved.
You know, for me, for individuals that look like me, it was a unique set of circumstances to get us here.
You mean tall people?
Yeah. And so, I mean, ain't no telling what was going on before we got here.
I'm just going to let that one lie. I'm just going to let that one soak in. Yes, I believe in dinosaurs because they find dinosaurs' bones all over the place. However, I'm not really sure how they became extinct, but I don't have any proof that it was not a kangaroo apocalypse that took down the dinosaurs as well.
Have you ever eaten, or is dinosaur, was it edible? Was that something that...
Yes, I've eaten dinosaur barbecue multiple times. It's in Harlem, on the west side, lower Harlem. It's great. It's a great place. The wings are banging. They got like grilled wings, not fried. Oof, so good. Love dinosaur
You need
barbecue.
to take me there. And also...
I'll take you there, buddy.
Can you take me on, can you hold my hand and take me on the subway? I'm a little scared.
I know. Your thing with the subway is so adorable. Like, honestly, if I said to you, the only way that you can get to where you need to go is the subway, you'd be like, I'm sorry, I'm not going.
What? Yeah, pretty much. There's
children on the subway that can get to where they're going, but you can't.
And it's not because
it's not complicated.
I don't want to do it. It's just something that I have not done.
Okay,
that's all.
So Anthony Smith has a question that's going to bring me to one thing I thought today. Shout out. Does this Cavs roster fit together well? Seems like they have a lot of guys who need the ball in their hands. I was looking at the Cavs roster, and I said to myself, the Cavs' second unit would make the playoffs in the Eastern Conference.
I got something for you.
The Cavs' second unit would make the playoffs in the Eastern Conference. Let me just talk this through. You got Derrick Rose, Channing
starter
Frye,
last year, leading scorer on his team.
Kyle Korver, Jay Crowder.
I need to put something on wax. Can I get some broken news real quick?
Okay.
Oh, May shouldn't do this, but I'm going to.
And we putting it on wax.
Okay, so here's what I've learned. If it doesn't happen at the beginning of the season and this roster plays out the entire year the way it is, the goal for the Cavs, as they're constituting their roster, is to move Kevin Love and Jay Crowder for Boogie Cousins.
Remember where you heard it first, here on Jalen and Jacoby. Thank you so much for watching on ESPN 2 and ESPN News. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.
We'll be back on Monday.
Thank you. You're far too kind.
Be all right.